we've made a sample library with the BBC Symphony Orchestra at Maida Vale. I would say there's three things that make this the biggest kind of moment of our lives. The first for me is orchestral samples. They've always had this stigma about them. Do they put musicians out of work? Do they threaten orchestral music? And we know as developers and as composers that actually they've sustained the industry and if anything have made it boom. But this endorsement gives us legitimacy, and having played with it over the last few days, I've been suffering a kind of a cognitive dissonance whenever I look down at that little plug-in window and I see those three letters, BBC. The second thing that I think is great about what Paul has done with this opportunity is that it's housed in its own plugin, and again, using it all week, you suddenly go, at last, it's not like a kit car or like a PC that's been bolted together with a motherboard from here and a video card from there. It's self-contained, which means at long last, we as a sorority and fraternity are compatible. And when we're compatible, it means we can collaborate, not just musically, not just compositionally, but we can collaborate with our ideas. We can make discoveries and share them and compare notes. What I'm really hoping with this, we're calling it a universal starting point, almost like an orchestral operating system. And whilst we'll be offering up our expertise, Jake and I are doing a whole bunch of templates for this in Logic, and we'll be doing long-form tutorials on our various YouTube channels. We're hoping that other people take their expertise and apply that to this new kind of orchestral operating system, if you will, and become YouTube stars of their own. Whilst the endorsement of the BBC is something that is repeatedly creating a cognitive dissonance in me, it's this second point that interests me the most, where we can use technology to learn from one another. The third thing that makes this library so exciting, we've been at this for 10 years now. To be frank, we've simply got better. So whilst we've gained all of this experience, some skills that have been honed over the last decade, and I'm so incredibly impressed with the results. God, it's absolutely roasting down here in London. It was a nice day in Edinburgh, but it actually smells of LA here. It's so hot. Amazing. So heading back to the Dorset Square Hotel, and jeepers, I've just got to nail one more vlog before tomorrow. So I didn't do the edit last night. I had a word with myself and thought the Spitfire family and my family would probably benefit out of me having a good night's kip, which I did. And I've been spending the morning rehearsing the keynote. So I'm probably going to discontinue a monologue and just concentrate on today and just bring you along for the ride, if that's okay. Can I just give you this?
Yes, thank you
Great,
so much.
Thank you. Oh, look who's here. Hello, mate. How's it going?
Good, good, thank you.
How are you feeling?
Oh, a little bit nervous.
I've always maintained that we have an inner fear of public speaking because of school.
Yeah.
When you're made to talk about shit that you don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
And I have to just remind myself before any of these kind of events, everything we talk about, we know everything about.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I've been preparing the keynote. I've done lots of kind of notes. The presenter display is absolutely brilliant, actually. It really works.
Ah, is that going to be working?
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
It's not the easiest place to navigate, though. How are we doing?
All right, how are you? Good.
How are we doing? I just kind of realised that my first time here, oh, thank you. My first time here at Barbican was watching my dad in a performance of The Merry Wives of Windsor.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, wow. This is great, Toby.
Yeah.
This is it. Spot on. So, Paul, where are we at? We've done 2 run-throughs.
Yes.
One was nearly 40 minutes long.
Yep.
Second one was 30.
30. It's getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 more and we'll be down to 10 minutes.
Can't think who's been waffling away up there. Is that 2 rigs we're setting up?
2 rigs, yeah. So basically, if one decides not to play ball, you press one button on stage and the keyboard, everything that you control goes straight back.
That's amazing.
And you're down for maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Right.
Having said that, really caning my system for two solid days, not a single problem at all, other than running out of headroom. And this is the ridiculously talented Asper, who's making sure that the Keynote actually looks nice and not just something that I've knocked up on a train, which is what it was. We've just decided to put the lid on this thing because it reveals it. I noticed that the GUI reveals before the reveal as well, but anyway, doesn't matter. On the trailer. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's seconds before the actual reveal.
Oh, yeah, on the wide shot, yeah.
Wherever we want it to go.
We should just say to our charity partners.
Yeah.
Okay, so not mention.
No, I just.
To our charity partners.
Yeah.
But equally, it's a poignant moment because Maida Vale.
And Paul, I found this bit of footage. That's one of 3 racks. Awfully loads of mic pre's.
Yep, so we had to come up with a new system.
Tech run. Going to try and squeeze 2 in, Toby.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is. Cool.
Daddy, do you want to
Hey Josh, you're going to make it on the...
Making sure the big cut.
This is my friend Al. Is that a seat for me?
Paul and I were saying the reason we became film and TV composers is because we didn't want to be in shitty places like this. What do you mean? About to go on stage in bands.
Henson and Paul Thompson from
It's I don't know. It's a pretty heavy day for us.
BBC Marconi mic, and this is an original. So one of Christian's favourite things is the saltestos and here at the cello.
I don't want to just leave you with that this is just the beginning, but also being a bit of a YouTuber, what I've learned is to predict what people want is a fool's errand, and actually what we want to do is create an environment where we respond to the community. And to see how that community interreacts. You know, we've talked about there potentially being educational content, this, that, and the other, but to make that in advance of really seeing what the community wants, I think is ill-advised. So basically, we just keep an eye on what we're doing with this. We've got kind of massive hopes, but we want it to be defined by the community, not by us, because we grew up on Open University. I'm not prepared to grow my beard and don a cardi just yet, but yes, I mean, that is absolutely a fundamental aspect of what we're doing here. I think what we're doing here today is launching a massively professional symphonic library that has the potential for us to really share some amazing stuff, but it is just the beginning. Should we all go get drunk?
That was fun. That was great.
That was very fun.
Knees are weak.
Arms are heavy.
Yeah.
Mum's spaghetti.
Didn't know you knew. It does sound fucking amazing. Well done, mate.
Well done, man. Well done. Insane.
Well done. Really well done. It's amazing.
I just went up in the lift with I told Christian. Just went up in the lift with obviously like 9 or 10 people, and they were just all grinning inanely.
Oh, brilliant. Sounds good, Sam, doesn't it? We had one of your famous hellos, albeit muted, on the Keynote. So you've basically heard the library in action for the first time over the last couple of days.
Yeah, well, I heard you sent me something yesterday, sneak peek, and then I heard Andy's demo on
Fuck right off, Andy.
But how exciting is it to hear it like that? You know?
Hey, oh look what's going on here! Hey! Have we sold any? That's a record.
And it's still going up. Wow.
Wow.
So when did we go live?
We haven't yet.
Oh no! Well, did we manage to edit out all of my terrible? This is why it's got to be live, because I have the Dory Finding Nemo. Just keep thinking. And if it's not live, I just go, no, fuck it, I'll do it again, and then just totally lose the audience.
We're live.
This is so exciting.
Okay, is it going?
We're on YouTube, on Facebook.
There's about 20 of the people watching it here.
Can we note this camera shot? It's very flattering. No, it genuinely is, Paul. Look at that, the shadow that our chins cast. What? Sorry, the shadow my chin casts over my chins totally obscures. The rule now, for the next 15 minutes, Asper, is don't touch.
Whatever you did, it's done. It's fine.
Give it to.
Yeah! That's what we want to see.
This might be the library to rule them all. Somebody said.
Man, Andy's a genius. Spelled wrong.
Genius or Andy?
Harry is saying that she was sitting in her Airbnb watching the whole thing.
Thank you, Gambly.
Thanks, Jack. See you then.
See you soon.
I'm so glad we've got so many Northerners working. Let's keep it real. It's never going to go to our heads. Ow!
Is that you? Okay.
You must be well proud, mate.
Yeah, really pleased.
Because it's like it's a serious fucking. It's as serious undertaking as any engineer can take, really. Surely?
Yeah, massive. Oh, well, the biggest thing.
Time scale and.
Well, it's just, and also just to not have a chance to record the whole orchestra, but make the sound as well.
Yeah.
You know, really was so massive. But yeah, Harry and I spent a lot of time talking about it, thinking about it, planning it, and it worked, which is great because it's the first time I've heard it all together.
And seems to have worked out, absolutely. It sounds bloody good, doesn't it?
It's amazing to play with ground. It's got a certain togetherness.
Yeah, cohesion. Yeah.
It's better word.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you later.
What can I hear? I can hear you, Christian.
Oh, is that your?
Oh no, just I always have me on a loop.
Still streaming
I
it.
don't know what that is.
It's streaming it. Still work.
That's the ideal situation, to feel like retrospectively you've got no regrets. You know?
No, genuinely. I feel that, definitely.
Easy.
Spitfires. I think I'm probably going to sign off here. It's been an amazing day. Always wonderful to work with Paul on these kind of events. I think that something I always remind the team at Spitfire about is that Paul and I still kind of really get on with each other. We really love each other, and we're good pals. So to share a stage with a good pal as someone that you consider to be a brother is a real honour indeed. I guess I'll just leave it there, really. Right, 5:57. I have 3 minutes before I have to go and get my taxi before he buggers off. I think I've got everything off to Cologne. No peace for the wicked, they say. Yesterday was great. Really proud to be on the stage with Paul. The response has been generally really good. I particularly appreciate people who apply a degree of empathy to what we're talking about, in the fact that the amount of effort that goes into making something like this is gargantuan. It's not just something that we out. Note to self: don't prepare the biggest keynote of your entire life, perform it, and then travel to Germany the next day to do another keynote. Just trying to prepare the keynote, which is a demonstration, and my contact's all in demo mode, so I'm not going to have the relaxing lunch that I was hoping for. Not that this is too much of a cloud, but every cloud does have a silver lining, and what a silver lining this is. I'm in Cologne for the Soundtrack Festival, and if you've not done that, and you're a media composer and you work in Europe, then I highly recommend it. Absolutely brilliant, wonderful kind of family of people that gathers every year. I'm going to get political just for one moment. This, I think, is the last time I suspect that I'm going to come through the blue channel. It says European citizens, and it suddenly dawned on me that this whole Euro thing, Brexit, is based on binary, primitive thought, that you cannot be one thing and another. And this is just bollocks. I am first and foremost a Londoner, and I'm English, and because of where I grew up, that means that I have the privilege of also saying that I'm British. And in addition to that, I am a European citizen, which basically means I have a massive extended family, all sorts of possibilities beyond the shores of Britain, beyond the shores of England, beyond the muddy banks of the River Thames in London. You can be all of these things. You can have many families in your life. This binary thought of you cannot be one without the other is what's got us into this fucking mess. And I'm genuinely incredibly upset about it. It's the first time it's really done my fucking head in, but I am, admittedly, thank you, on an emotional come down, and from yesterday, massively hungover and very, very tired. So, snap out of it. My respect for film directors is suddenly excellent. Keynote done, and it was brilliant. It was like a sauna in there, a tiny room that really should have seated 12, and I think there was about 30 or 40 people in there, but it was absolutely wonderful, really great. I love coming to these because people are really up for it, really up for discussing how we do what we do, etc., etc. So I'm always going to come here every year. Absolutely love it. And if you haven't been and you have the opportunity to come here to the Soundtrack Cologne, I humbly and wholeheartedly rather recommend it. Thankfully, my amazing assistant Charlotte has given me a nudge because I actually got the time wrong. I'm on Britain time, so nearly missed my cab to the airport. There you go. Anyway, thanks for coming on this journey with me. Really looking forward to spending a bit of time with the family, editing this up, and do subscribe because I've got a particularly, I think, quite amusing Modular Monday coming up. It's almost there. It's quite a long one. Hit the old bell if you haven't done already and want to be notified the next time I put up a video. And one of those, always much appreciated for maybe for all of the guys at who organised Soundtrack Cologne. Absolutely fantastic festival, well worth visiting. See you soon.